It's cooking with no time, motherfuckers. Let's go! Hey! I actually have wanted to do this for a while, in all fairness, like cooking with Nova. It is something I've been interested in, but you know, the whole ordeal of, well, I'm here for horny content. I want to see your cock, Nova. So, you know, it's just been trying to get time off and being able to do this through the day where I can actually eat this as lunch or dinner. I say as I do this at 10 in the fucking morning. Yeah, this is gonna be breakfast. I might make a bit of sandwich and eat that as well at the same time. Let's see how things go. Well, we're gonna have some oil in here. Don't worry if that seems like a bit too much oil, because it will run evenly. You do want to even out the oil in your pan every time. You want even coverage so nothing sticks. Don't worry about those. Those are flavour. And also from bacon that my mum cooked for her breakfast, so don't worry about that part. So what you want to do is you want to have it on a low to medium heat, which I can't see on here, but you can now see. That's side. We're going to put on 6. We're going to have that steadily heating up for a reason. Now, the first thing... Where's my shit? Here we are. First thing, we are going to have some mushrooms in there. We are also going to have the bacon, because today's dish... Where's my chicken? Sorry chat, I've lost the chicken. Anyway. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Chicken breast. And of course the other final bits will be, because today, as you can guess, we are making spaghetti. And I'm gonna try and make my own chicken Alfredo. Because yes. Now, it's a very easy dish. Somewhat. And it's just creamy cheesy chicken. No, creamy chicken. Words! It is essentially just creamy sauce with chicken and spaghetti. People normally add bacon or ham, you can do that. I am adding bacon. I am changing a little bit and adding my own bits of mushrooms because yes, but you know, we digress. Now as you can see, whoops, sorry, that's a bit of water from cleaning the pan. Don't worry about that. Anyway, as you can see, the oil is already getting pretty hot, so we have to move on to our next and first step, which is to cut up some chickens. Now, you can cut up your chicken however you want, but first things first, and it's very important for all of you to know this, 1, wash your hands. I already have washed my hands. But 2, carefully your knife. And 3, don't wash your chicken. That is salmonella. And it's easy, Americans do not seem to understand that. Because for some reason, I have had Americans, when I talk to them about cooking food, go, well, you have to wash the chicken and the turkey, otherwise there's dirt on it. It's already fucking washed. Don't wash your chicken. If you do, you're an idiot. Now, you can cut your chicken however you want. I am cutting mine into general pieces, because that is going to get fried up, and we want to turn down that heat for now. Now, the main thing is, we want to get the chicken just seared, because it will just cook off mainly in the sauce to add that flavour. And normally, what you want to do is you want to also get your chicken to about like same-ish size, same-ish length, so that way, you know, they all cook evenly. Now, if they don't have to fully cook through into the middle as much. Now that might sound bad, but they are going to cook in the sauce and absorb that flavour, and they're going to stay in that sauce for a good bit, and that sauce will help cook it. So you want to cook as much as you can, because you can see on this, it is already white and it's already getting a bit golden there. Now, a nice helpful trick for your oil. Now, that is the wrong salt. Where's my salt one? I have salt in here somewhere. Here we go. Now, a nice helpful thing with the spitting is to help it stop spitting, because that's all the oil getting too hot and just going poof with a bubble, is with a gentle amount of salt. You don't want a lot of salt, you want just enough in there to where it helps with stop spitting. And you can see that it's slowly stopped spitting now. Anyway. But yeah, no, I have been very interested in doing cooking with Nova for a while. But you mainly want to get all your chicken cooked first, as the main safety that you need to cook off first. You don't want to eat raw chicken. That is your main part. If you do, well, if you do like to eat raw chicken, that's weird, bro. What the fuck? There. Now, we can just leave these to cook off a little bit. As you can see, it's the more thin and the more universal they are, the more they cook evenly. Now, you don't have to worry about the char. The char is not an issue there. But if you get a nice char, good on ya. Now, let's put the chicken out, backing up the way. I'd also like to point out to all the viewers, this is just a regular at-home cooking experience. I am not expecting you to be a chef and date label everything and blah blah blah. That is a bit much for a household kitchen, I feel, unless that is your own doing. Now, the second part we want to do, we want to just get some nice strips. I normally like to tear off the fatty bit and leave this. We do want some of that fat, but we don't want all of it. So we're just going to start off by cutting the actual meaty part into strips, as those will cook nicely, as well as there'll be a nice little surprise for you when you're biting into your chicken and some bacon. And they will also cook pretty well, pretty evenly, and pretty easily. Now, of course, I understand there are going to be some questions, but Nova, you shouldn't mix meats. They cook in different ways. They need different internal temperatures. This is a home cooking video. If I get sick, it's on me, and plus I have today and tomorrow off, so if I am sick, whatever. Now, the next part, just want to slice along there. You can see the little line. The lines are your fat. You want to cut in between the fatty lines, where you can see you still get some fat on this, but not a lot. Now there are certain bits, like here, where you are going to get like a good bit of that fat along the edges. That is perfectly fine. These bits are very useful. They'll add some flavor to the chicken, which, as you can see, is charring up, cooking, and it's breaking apart rather easily, which is a good thing, because you want that sort of like breakaway sort of like taste of the meat. That's how you know it's so juicy. And it's also why American turkeys are just fucking horrible, because they're all just essentially a thing of, oh, why is the turkey dry? Because you didn't baste it, you didn't do anything else. And as you can see on like a piece like this, as you can see on like a piece like this, on one side, you've got that nice like cooked through char. This other side has not been flipped, but is cooking through, as you can see. That is the main thing of why you want universally to cut them the same, because that is what you want. You want it to cook through it. Now, we are going to flip it anyway. But as you can see, they will just cook through in general. There you go. So, now if we shall continue, we'll get our bacon in there next. Now in pieces like this, I normally just cut them like that. So you still have that one side of the bacon fat and the normal actual meaty bit. You will get bits like that. You will get bits like this where it's just all fat. I don't use those personally, but to you use them as you please. Because I feel we already have enough fat in the pan from the bacon. What you want is you want to get a bit of a mix, and then you turn the heat up a little bit. Just a little. So you can get that bacon cooked through, which is already cooking on some pieces, as we are taking our time. Some of these pieces won't be fully cooked right now, but as you can see, as we turn up the temp, the meat is cooking. Now let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Let's add another bit of bacon. This one I'm going to do a bit quicker, just because that first one was sort of a demonstration as to show you how I do it. But, once again, essentially a very easy thing, as we will go back over. Just slice along the fats, cut off those bits there, and then you want to just cut your meat into strips. And then add those in. And then rinse and repeat along here. There you are. You can see it there where the fat, like, it will just, if you don't have a sharp enough knife sometimes, or you cut it wrong, will just tear itself apart. Alright, now that we've got all our bacon in there, we'll step that knife there for a second, and we will just give this all a bit of a mix. To evenly get everything a bit of oil. There we go. And now we can just leave that for a second whilst we get to our next bit, which is some mushrooms. Now, okay, good, we're still recording. Sorry, I have to check that. This is going to be a very long video, and I don't want to rinse or repeat the step. Now, mushrooms are very nice. They're very easy to cook. They brown up very nicely. Some people add a bit of sugar into when cooking them to sweeten them. I don't do that, at least with dishes like this. But all you have to do essentially, because mushrooms are very easy. Well, that one broke. But we'll do it this time. You can cut it along that way, and you can have thin slices. I just like to go along here and just have my little like half moon sort of slices, if that. And then you just, oop, there you go. And those will go nicely into the dish, and what you want to do is you just want to cook those off in there. We will do the same to the broken piece here. Now, the mushroom is not the main focus of the dish. The main focus is the chicken and the bacon. The mushroom is there as a sort of flavor. Add on a little bit. Now, you can add as many mushrooms as you want, or you can add your twins, for example. We are just going to aim for, I want to say, about 4. And we will call it at that. You can add the stems, but I like to save those when I'm doing like a full English. Cut them up, cut them into some bit, put them in with the bacon so they crisp up with the bacon flavor. That's where I normally like mainly cook these on. Then we'll just get rid of that bacon now. And as you can see, it is very much coming together. But all we're going to do right now is just cut up these mushrooms like so. Now if the mushrooms are very small, you don't really need to worry about breaking off the stems. The stems are still perfectly fine to eat. So, you know, there's ones like these, where it's just very easily a thing of just cutting right on through. And, you know, you've seen on a lot of these that there is a stem, but it is still very much like inside. Now, these types can just go right in. And there's going to be a mix in here of just some, you know, some fulls. But then you're going to have a lot of these, a good lot of these ones, to sort of blend into it all and make it work. So you should start out with something like that, if you're keeping the stems. If not, ignore that little stem bit there. Without the stems, it should look something like that. So if you're following along at home, first off, why are you using me for cooking advice? I know I'm a chef, but still, what the fuck are you doing? Go to Jamie Oliver, go to Ramsay if you want a beef Wellington. I'm teaching you basic home cooking right now. Now, while a bit of this sneak peek will be in the channel, welcome to the YouTube channel, guys, Cooking with Nova. Honestly, did not expect to make it, but hey, here we are. Okay, let's get the last mushroom in. And don't worry, this isn't going to be like binging with Babish. You're not going to see some like fancy ass, here's how you make the thing from Gumball. Here's how you cook Steven's Cookie Cats. No. We're just doing basic home cooking. I'm going to teach you the weird ass fucking food I eat sometimes with the weird flavor palettes. and we're going to call it a day at that. Alright, so we're going to move these out of the way for now. Don't worry, I do my washing up. Let's just wipe up around the surroundings. As you can see, there's a bit of oil. But, as you can hear from that lovely sizzle, the chicken is cooking. And what you want to do is get the mushrooms mixed in there with all that bacon oil and all that flavor. Just really get it in there. And I would say a little pinch of salt and some nice pepper. And just start by giving it a bit of a shimmy as to mix in. Oops, good thing it's not spilled salt. Anyway, and what you want to do is just get a good shimmy, good mix about, and you want to leave that alone for a minute whilst the mushrooms are cooking off and while the bacon and the chicken are all rendering off and doing their thing. Now, we're going to turn on another stove over here very quickly. We're just going to move that over and keep that on 7. And next, we're going to wash a pan because I want to. Alright, there you go. So that's cooking off now, and we have now got a pan, which, once we've dried out it all fully, is then going to be used to house our spaghetti, which we have gone with a fancier version of spaghetti called bucante. But it is essentially just spaghetti, do not worry yourselves. Ow. So what you want to start off with is by just getting your pot, filling it with water. Fairly normal way of how you cook your spaghetti. Now you don't need a lot of water, but you do need a good amount. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn that up and get it boiling first, and add a bit of salt. I also like to occasionally add a sprinkling of pepper. It might not make the world's biggest difference, but I feel it does. Hello, doggos. Don't worry, you will get video of the doggos as well to go along with this. I'll pop them up here. There, as you can see, our meat and everything is cooking up. And what we want to do is we just want to turn that down a little bit, is to keep it warm. We don't want to cook it any further, as it is already cooked through fully, as you can see. Mushrooms have, as you can see, we have the mushrooms in there, which are starting to brown off. We got the bacon, which is all crispy and nice and cooked. And the chicken has got a nice char to it. It has still got its flavor, and it's most likely got meat. Like the bacon, bacon meat in it. Yeah, that's cooked. And just from tasting those juices on my tongue and taste of that meat in there, you can clearly taste the mushroom, clearly taste the ham, but you still got that that chicken flavor just in there. And a little bit of a to it. Now, the water boiling is going to take a second, but we have an electric stove, so we can just whack it to max and it will start bubbling pretty quickly. Or steaming, either or, you will see it. Now the salt does change that a little bit, as it makes it a bit higher to bubble, but that's alright. So what you want to do, whilst that is boiling, which we can see some bubbles at the bottom, although I'm not sure you can fully see those, you just want to get enough spaghetti for yourself. And do not worry about it going over the edge, it will go in. Don't worry, it will eventually go in. Now, I am not the biggest fan of spaghetti, I am a fan of lasagna normally. I got commissioned to do this. Thank you at the dear post. Your commission is never going a good way. But, as I am not the biggest fan of spaghetti, that is about all we will do for now. And also, just so I can upset one Italian today very quickly, guys, just so I can upset the one Italian. And also because fuck you, it's funny. Fuck you. I'm gonna waste the rest, I'm gonna get fed to dogs here. Alright, the dogs are having dry spaghetti now. So now I have them. They get a little bit of food whilst I cook. So this water will take a second to boil, but as you can already semi-see, it is starting to get a bit softer. Leave that there for now. Water will take a minute to bubble and boil, but for now, it is just a weight gain. So now, we are going to cut to when that happens. Alright, so, fast forward, you can see has sagged a good bit. You can see here, it is drooping now. It will steadily go in, as you can tell by the fact that I can just squish these and push them in. Now, not all of them will have cooked enough to go in, but you can see the water is steaming, which means it is getting there. There you go. So largely essentially that's all you got to do. So you just sort of give them a bit of a push, and they will eventually go in. You want a bit of that water in here. Now, while we're waiting for that, we are going to add our sauce, which is a nice cream lasagna sauce, but all it is bechamel with cheese, essentially. What you want to do is you want to get enough of that in there to coat your meat at first. You can add as well as your spaghetti. You can add more eventually. What we're doing right now, we're just engulfing all of that in this sauce. Just giving it a good mix to add that sauce into it. Now you probably might be thinking, but Nova, why do people add their pasta water into their sauce? Well, it combines all the oil and the sauce and the meat properly together, because the starch in it acts as a sort of, well, combiner, if you get what I mean. Not a combine harvester, just a combiner. And as you can see, we have a good bit of sauce in there. I'm adding a bit more in as well, just to get an extra little bit to cover the spaghetti. What you want to do is just want to mix that fully in. You want to get the oils into it, as well as you want to get all the flavors in that oil, because that oil flavors the main good part. It's that extra bit of oomph for the flavor. And what you want to do is you want to leave that there on a bit of a higher heat. Now I'm trying to run back up to 6 on the stove. If you would gas, it could be electric, it could be whatever you could do, whatever fucking campfire. But as you can see, this is starting to cook, and what you want to do is you just want to try and just get those last bits of spaghetti in there. Now of course you might have your own way of cooking spaghetti. Well, I am a teacher, I am not your teacher. Now as you can see, that sauce is starting to really heat up. So what you want to do, you want to keep that moving for a minute, and then turn it down just a little bit, just to keep it warm. But as you can see, this is starting to heat up. The oils are still there, they're still trying to cook everything. Now while that is cooking, and while that is warming up, we shall start on our next piece, which is going to be garlic bread, made with some nice fresh mozzarella. Now, I do not have the proper bread for garlic bread. I do not have a baguette or anything. So we're going to use garlic breads, which is a bit weird, it's a bit unconventional, but it works. It's also garlic flavored, so you get that nice garlic readiness. How would that come in? Welcome back. Anyway, so here we have it. We have our naan breads, which are slightly already cooked. Now, I'm going to split these in half. This one's a bit fucky, so we're just going to get rid of that. So here we have our 3 bits of naan. All we're going to do is we're going to get this and we're going to get some mozzarella in. Now, we are going to just add a little bit into this of the mozzarella. Add to that creaminess, but also add a bit of cheesiness to our pasta dish. Now, it might seem like a lot, and it's not, I promise you. But what we're going to do, we're going to add mozzarella into this, and we're going to stick it in the grill underneath it. But what you want to do is you want to get your bowl of mozzarella. Sort of just want to put it into strips, so it all evenly goes out. About. As you can see, that is bubbling away as we are steadily getting closer to the pasta being done. Now, the garlic bread doesn't take long. If you're doing this from frozen, do it, follow those instructions. But, the mozzarella, with the garlic bread, it's a very easy thing of just getting a bit of cheese on some bread, sticking it under the grill or in your oven or wherever, and just steadily going that up. And now we want an even amount on each, because we want that coverage. So what I'm doing is I'm just going back over here and there, just to add that bit more of mozzarella in certain areas. You can just squish it, and it'll be a little like ball like this, or you can just tear it, and it can be a little strip like this, and it's up to you. We are using a mixing bowl, but essentially it's just going to be spreading it out, making sure we get a nice amount of cheesy garlic on all of these naans. And this last little bit, which I'm not going to use, is going to the dogs. Yeah, there you go, that's mozzarella. Alright, now, it's probably what you can't select. As you can see, our spaghetti is pretty much done. Now what you want to do is just want to get a good little bit, drip it, and then you want to add that into there. Add it all together and pop it all in. And you want to make sure the my spaghetti is a bit thicker, so it will take a bit longer to cook than normal. But you want to make sure that you now just give that a good mix into that. As you can see, all the starch is mixing with the sauce and the oils, and that's mixing it all together. Now, the mozzarella is not fully melted. That's okay, that will take a good second anyway. And as you can see, just by turning it and mixing it, that mozzarella has really come together into the sauce. You want to make sure you get all of your meat mixed into that as well to add the flavors. And what you want to do, just want to turn. You now just want to turn off that, and move that to the side. And we'll keep this on this one on a semi-high heat. While that's staying warm, well, we just mix it over a good bit. We're going to put our naans in, be toasted under the grill, and melt that cheese really nicely. Now, depending on your grill, this can take anywhere from 10 minutes to maybe a couple of seconds. But for now, we're just mixing this all together and getting that mozzarella melted into it. What you can do is you stick the mozzarella in the pan, you give that a bit of a spin, and then you just go over it, over your meat, with the sauce and everything, to pick up all of that mozzarella that's stuck to the pan. now, I feel like I have enough sauce. But if you need to, you can add more sauce if you have more. What you want to do as well, sometimes, just pour a little bit of that pasta over it. Don't need a lot, just a bit. And that helps combine the sauce, because of the starchiness, it helps combine the sauce with the oil and everything, and you can have a more liquidy sauce. Alright, so now all we're waiting for is our garlic bread, and until then, I'm just gonna cut away to that for you all. Alright. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Alright. So, our garlic bread is now done. It smells amazing. And what I want to do next up, of course, is your presentation. Now, if you're doing this at home, presentation doesn't matter. I am a chef, so this presentation does matter to me. Now what you want to do, you first just want to get pasta in there, and as you can see, if you've done this all right, it's just slide right out all the sauce and all of this fits. You will always occasionally just get a little bit that will just not go on. So what you want to do now, you just want to spread that a bit out evenly. Yep, there you go. Alright, next we're going to turn off our fan so that doesn't burn. Just want to get your garlic breads in there. Now these are naan bread, so once again, these will be a bit different to how you will have yours, but hey, to each their own. You just want to add those on. Turn off all your bits. Just even a bit more out. And there you have it. That is my rendition of chicken Alfredo. Now, it is lovely. As you can see, it's still warm. As you can see, the smoke and everything will steam come up. So what we're going to do now is the ultimate thing, which is to eat and enjoy it. Now, let's get a good thing of that in there. Twist that. Ooh, yeah, there you go. You can just see it cooked. Perfection. A nice cheesy sauce with some mozzarella. Now we dig in. Super Mario, real life. Spaghetti. Hot, hot. Very hot. Hot, ha ha ha. Oh, why did I wait? Why did I wait? Oh. After burning my mouth and trying this is fucking stunning, spectacular, I love it. Is my third favorite pasta dish. Nope, second favorite, yeah. First favorite is lasagna. You cannot go wrong with a good lasagna. Now, I did not make a lasagna today, because that would be too much for me, and I would not be able to give it to people. And this is my second favorite, which is chicken Alfredo, which is just chicken ham, but I use bacon, but you can use what you want. I have a pork-based product. With spaghetti. I did use a bit of a thicker spaghetti than normal, but hey, it cooked the same, and still, it's fucking stunning. Now, I did use some basic jarred lasagna creamy cheese sauce, but it is the same as what you would put into a normal sauce anyway. Because all this is essentially bechamel with a bit more milk and a bit of cheese added to it to make it creamy. That is all you get. I added some mozzarella. It's fucking worked stunningly, as you can see. Now let's add a little last bit with, as you can see, the garlic bread where the cheese just pulls. Oh, oh, oh. That cheese pull. Oh my god. So I'm just going to tear a bit of that off. Ooh. That's how you know it's good garlic bread, if you can get that nice cheese pull. As you can see, cooked fully through and everything. Mmm. Mmm. Phenomenal. Fresh garlic bread. Let's just get a bit more of that pasta with the chicken. Mix that mozzarella in. Mmm. It just works. It's just stunning. Fully great. Mmm. I love this fish, honestly. Mm. Mm. And of course, my third favorite dish is pesto chicken. Now, we will probably be doing pesto again if this does really well. For now, thank you all. This was a commission by At the Post. They themselves just wanted, you know, a nice cooking video with fucking Spider-Man's Pizza Time theme playing in the background, which is what you're hearing, is what I've heard this entire video. Oh, that's fucking amazing, honestly. I've done really good with this. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully, if this does well, we'll see more Cooking with Nova videos. For now, I'll see you all in a bit, and peace.